Play It Again Sports in Greensburg is your locally owned and operated sporting goods store. We set ourselves apart by offering a wide variety of both new and used equipment at competitive prices. Located in the Greengate East Plaza, below Walmart, Play It Again Sports' knowledgeable staff will help you and your family prepare for every athletic season. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or trade, we are here as your one-stop shop. At Play It Again Sports in Greensburg, everybody plays.
Creating space. Hewitt turning. Scoring! Marshall Hewitt has won the Penguins Cup championship for the Seneca Valley Raiders with 12:29 to play in triple overtime. And don't ever play Lady of Spain again.
One field, one coach, one moment. That's all it takes to change a child's future. That's something that I want to be a part of. How about you? I'm Matt Major, Area Director of Ambassadors Football Pittsburgh. Get involved today. Visit us online and join the team.
Discover the heart of Pittsburgh at Mount Washington Shop and Save. At Mount Washington Shop and Save, we're more than just a grocery store. We're your neighborhood destination. From the freshest local produce to gourmet delights, we've got it all under one roof. Experience convenience, quality, and savings, all in the heart of Mount Washington. Mount Washington Shop and Save, where Pittsburgh shops with a view. Shop smart, shop local, shop Mount Washington Shop and Save.
Why are so many companies, unions, and organizations across the country choosing the Avia Dental Plan?
Because group plans start at as little as $5 per month, and groups can save 20 to 80% off of high-quality dental care.
Everyone qualifies, and there's no waiting or limits on visits to the dentist.
Call now and save $20, plus get 3 months free.
Call now and you may be able to save $20 and get 3 months free. 1-888-431-CARE or visit aviadental.com.
I use Book a Limo on all my trips. They have drivers everywhere.
I always feel safe when I travel with their chauffeurs, from hello to goodbye.
Checking rates, booking, and managing clients' reservations online is so easy.
The confirmations, trip reminders, and car status updates are great when I'm on the go.
I want my clients to have the best experience during their trip. That's why I've used Book a Limo for the past 30 years.
What's your destination? Book a limo, any car, anywhere.
As they say in PIHL hockey, let's do that PIHL hockey. Hello, good evening, and welcome. I'm Matt Popchak, joined once again by Kevin Zolmanski for the 2026 PIHL All-Star event here on TenbandTV, presented by Play It Again Sports in Greensburg. The top flight is about to take flight. Our final game of this particular Sunday, the Class 3A All-Star game between the gold team in dark jerseys and the blue team in white jerseys, who are going to be taking the ice in front of us here at the Clearview Arena in just a moment. We had planned to be here for this purpose 2 months ago. That was before we got Greater Pittsburgh's worst winter storm in 15 years. We are now here at last, 1 week after the first Western PA sweep of the Pennsylvania Cup in 15 years, Kevin Zolmanski, and we're going to see some more teams who made deep playoff runs, including the two-time state champion Seneca Valley, well represented here at the All-Star game.
Yeah, Mother Nature forced some adjustments, Matt, and I think it worked out well. We're coming off a important or noteworthy sweep of the state championships for the first time in 15 seasons, this day becomes just a celebration of the PIHL, and I think it's been good for everyone. Games have been fun. Players are having some fun. There's been a lot of skill, some good goaltending. And we're ready for the last one of the day, the last one for the crew, the last one for all the workers. It's the 3A game. And the players in Team Blue wearing the white coming out today. Coming out right now, I should say.
And this could be a big game for the goaltenders. The last one certainly was the 2A All-Star game, which was won by the blue team very late by a 4-2 final margin over the gold team. Garen Gardner had a pair of goals for the gold team representing the Penguins Cup runners-up from Hempfield. Sean Goodman had a pair for state champion Penn Trafford, and then Luke Simonetti from West Virginia state champion Wheeling Park scored the game winner. And we expect to hear from Luke here on Media Row in just a little bit. And Garrett Schwartz added an empty netter for the blue team victory representing Cathedral Prep. I wouldn't be surprised if this game also were a goaltending duel, Kevin, because we have Chris Nichols, the two-time Post-Gazette Player of the Year, representing two-time state champion Seneca Valley. And on the other side, you've got his next-door neighbor, so to speak, Chris Costa, an all-star honoree representing North Allegheny. You've got Owen Laurent representing Upper St. Clair, who's had an extraordinary high school career, and Anthony Herman from the Penguins Cup runners-up, Peters Township, in Class 3A. Herman had a great first season with the Indians after coming over from Baldwin.
A lot of good goaltending talent. And I almost feel like you mentioned in the last game a reference to like soccer. Sometimes in soccer when you have a player of some reaches a certain level, you have, when they leave, it's like a send-off game. So this is almost like Chris Nichols' send-off game, right? He is a two-time PG Player of the Year. They picked the Stellar Six. It was published today. And we get together and kind of celebrate and have a send-off for him. Amongst others. There's a lot of other seniors.
Absolutely, and that's what makes this All-Star Sunday sobering and exciting all at once, as it is made up from the 2-month break that was necessitated by the winter storm at the end of January.
26 Clash AAA PIHL All-Star Game.
And I told you we would be joined by Luke Simonetti of Wheeling Park, and he will be joining us in just a little bit here after the teams are introduced and after our national anthem. Again, Luke with the game-winning goal in the Class 2A All-Star Game not long ago. And Austin McLean, take it away.
All right, fans, let's meet our All-Stars. Starting out with Team Gold, head coach Anthony Rako. Assistant coaches Ryan Logan and Jordan Yockwick. All right, let's meet our choirs. From Pine Ridgeland, number 6, Colin Campbell. From Fox Chapel, number 8, Tucker Cohen. From USC, number 8, Jake Tier. From Peters, number 9, Quay LaMagna. From Mount Lebanon, number 13, Nathan Tran. From Pine Ridgeland, number 13, Carson Versilla. From NA, number 15, Chris Costa. From Franklin, number 19, Joey Casella. From Franklin, number 21, Brendan Yo. From Peters, number 22, Blake Vancic. From Central Catholic, number 22, Kane Phillip. From Peters, number 27, Brendan Munko. From USC, number 35, Owen Lawrence. From TJ, number 42, Jacob Simon. From Central, number 52, Dante Albanese. From NA, number 56, Joey Mitchell. From PR, number 56, Noah Taggart. From Peters, number 74, Anthony Herman. From NA, number 81, Alex Costa. From Fox Chapel, number 89, Spencer Goring. And from TJ, number 91, Cam Lorenzi. All right, everyone, that is Team Gold. And now, introducing Team Blue, head coach Jeremy Church. Assistant coaches Nathan Connolly and Tyler Masiska. And now, your players for Team Blue. From Central, number 2, Aaron Daly. From South Fayette, number 13, Jackson Ankrum. From NA, number 13, Eddie Shearer. From Levo, number 16, Graham Ressler. From Seneca, number 26, Leighton Moreau. From Central, number 26, Ray Travado. From Seneca, number 29, Carter Holmes. From Levo, number 31, Sam Shin. From Seneca, number 38, Jacob Gilbert. From PR, number 40, Michael DeJardins. From Seneca, number 40, Chris Nichols. From South Fayette, number 43, Nathaniel Keller. From Franklin, number 58, J.J. Tenswan. From Peters, number 59, Jacob Howati. From Seneca, number 59, Owen Soroka. From Levo, number 68, Xavier Bias. From TJ, number 75, Michael Burns. From PR, number 77, Doug Van Meter. From Franklin, number 78, Brian Kraus. From USC, number 84, Nico Gallardini. From USC, number 91, Nevin Shagan-Siniowski. And that is Team Blue. Tonight's referees, Ian McLean and Jeff Lang. Tonight's linesmen, Eric Hartman and Corbin Ragno. All right, fans, let's hear it for your 2026 PIHL Class AAA All-Stars. At this time, we ask you to please rise as you're able to remove your hats and direct your attention to the flags beside the scoreboard for the singing of our national anthem by our all-star RMU national anthem singer, Mr. John Tucci.
Matt, the legend that is the Tooch.
In the home of the Robert Morris Colonials, who else but RMU staffer John Tucci? If you don't like him, you don't like Christmas. What more can I say? We'll try and say a few things to Luke Simonetti of West Virginia state champion Wheeling Park. Luke, thank you for joining us. And I talked about how this was supposed to be played in late January, as is the norm in the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Hockey League. Mother Nature conspired against us. Does it feel any different playing it at the end of a long season, being here amongst the best of the best?
Honestly, I kind of thought it worked out better having it at the end of the season, you know?
And have you had time to reflect upon that West Virginia title, and just what have you enjoyed most about being a part of that team?
You know, growing up with a lot of the guys on the team, it was great to win not once, but 2 times in a row with my best friends. And, you know, I'm just really grateful that I got to share that experience with them.
Getting the winning goal in an all-star game isn't a bad consolation prize either. You got that late in the game today. You had a lot of chances. I'm sure it felt good to finally get one.
Absolutely. Haven't been on the ice in a while. I was a little snake bit.
What's next for you?
I'm hopefully going to pursue a career in juniors and play some college hockey after that.
Have you had a chance to speak with any of the programs represented here today, or any other programs in the area?
Unfortunately, I have not. Sorry. It would have been nice to, but I did not get to talk to anyone today.
You've been a busy young man, obviously, today, and at the end of the season, again, with Wheeling Park going on a run in the West Virginia playoffs, how do you feel about the growth of the sport in that state? I know, I mean, it's, you know, here in greater Pittsburgh, hockey's obviously already been a very big deal, but it seems to be, in the last 20 years, it seems to have come a long way in West Virginia as well. You have your own leagues, your own state tournament, everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Every year they do the best they can to improve it, and it definitely shows. You know, I know the Wheeling Park tryouts this year were like double the size they were last year, so that's always nice to hear. And, you know, I just hope the rest of the state keeps growing with Wheeling.
Does the PIHL competition kind of keep you guys on your toes when you're not playing West Virginia teams?
Oh, absolutely. Especially moving up to AA this year. It was a really big test, and I would say it made us faster as a team overall. Playing against more physical and faster skaters, it definitely showed in the long run.
So you think that was a positive experience then?
Absolutely.
Good to hear.
Luke, how would you rate your all-star experience overall before we let you go?
I definitely can't complain. Went as good as I expected it to go.
And again, you've got the game-winning goal in that AA game to show for it from the West Virginia state champs, the Patriots of Wheeling Park. All-star Luke Simonetti. Thank you for joining us, Luke.
Thank you for having me.
And there goes Luke Simonetti. Again, he of the Wheeling Park Patriots. Luke scoring very late in that 2A All-Star game.
Joined now, Matt, by Chris Brewski.
He of the Cathedral Prep Ramblers, another one of the more further flung teams in the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Hockey League. Chris, the Ramblers made a late push to make the playoffs this season after a slow start. How did you guys pull it out?
Yeah, well, it came down to we were tied with Norwin, and we weren't going to make it by the tiebreaker because of penalty minutes. We had way more than them. So we played Penn Trafford last game of the season and somehow came out with a pretty big win.
And not only a pretty big, I mean, you beat the eventual state champs, for crying out loud. A big accomplishment, obviously, for a team that was, you know, you guys were dealing with graduation and roster attrition, and you had a new coach this year. A lot on the plate of the team collectively. Do you feel like, looking at the end of the season, going into next season, the team is in a better place now?
I do. We graduated a lot of seniors. Well, we graduated a lot of seniors again this year, but it's a really good program with a good coach. I feel like they could rebuild just as they always do. Making playoffs again this year, you know, that's huge for players coming in.
And historically, Cathedral Prep, and I know Kevin will corroborate this, they've played teams in the Lakeshore League. They played PIHL on a pretty regular basis, obviously. the extra competition tires you, I'm sure, but it keeps you guys on your toes, I would imagine.
For sure, for sure.
So what was it about the team at the end of the year that kind of came together?
I think the seniors specifically really pulled through, like knowing that this is our last chance and our last time playing together. You know, we really gave it our all towards the end of the season, and then even our first round game against Hempfield, who smacked us in the regular season twice, we had a really tough game with them and gave them a run for their money almost. So
it was a very tight game, yeah, taking on the number 1 seed in their barn, no less. A tough challenge for any 8 seed. Lastly, Chris, before we let you go, just what is so unique about the hockey culture of the Erie area and Cathedral Prep, and how does it rub off on your program and make you guys such a strong program year after year?
You know, Erie hockey is really tight-knit. A lot of us have been playing together for years now, and if not, just because of like different age groups, we've all known each other for so long. And I feel like the coaching, we've known like these coaches and have heard of them. So like playing for a team like Cathedral Prep with a lot of history and background, you know, it's super special.
And I don't think there's any question that even better days are ahead for the Ramblers. Just 1 year removed from their own Penguins Cup title, trying to get back to the top as they look forward to 26-27. Chris Bruschi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And we are just moments away from the start of the final game of the evening, the Class 3A All-Star Game, as you see the teams in their respective huddles.
As Evan Dunlap checks in here for the last interview from Hempfield High School. Evan, welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
And the Spartans, what a run, what a turnaround for that program. I know the season didn't end the way you would have liked it to, but the fact of the matter is Hempfield went from being an also-ran to being literally the top team in the classification this season. How did it all come together?
It's just us as teammates and all those seniors. We're really close with the juniors and sophomores, even the freshmen that came up. We were just really close together and friends. Like we always talk in school. So like that friendship, I guess, just kind of kept us going, kept the morale up.
How intense do the games get specifically with the other Westmoreland County teams? I've got to imagine, and we saw it in the Penguins Cup final, I got to imagine over the whole season, over the course of a long season, there's some good, bad blood there, if you will.
Right, we share a rink with Latrobe, so we know those kids too, even Norwin. We're actually close friends with Norwin. So it's all close competition. We like to have fun with them, but we also want to win and have the bragging right over them.
You played a really strong game today defensively, and the Spartans throughout the course of the season were a strong defensive team. Your goaltender, as we're underway here in the 3A game, Evan Saltzgiver, I know has had a lot to do with that, but did it feel this season like there was just a general uptick in terms of team defense and attention to detail in that regard?
Right. Every practice we harp on the little things of like our gap and how it passes the D across, and we always want to fine-tune our game of not throwing up the middle or anything of that nature. We want to always be keen. Even in practice, we practice it a lot.
And having Evan back there, a player of his caliber, I'm sure does a lot to loosen you up mentally, I would surmise.
Right, we always talk. He's one of my close friends. I've known him since I was little. Having him behind there and me talking to him and me talking to him and him talking to me, we always are close and make sure we're on the same page.
So what about the future for you? What's next?
I'm not sure yet. I'm looking to play baseball and study physical therapy.
Nice.
My closest, school would be John Carroll, and I think I'm most likely going there. I'm not for sure yet, but that's what I'm looking at.
So what do you think about the future for the Hempfield hockey program? Because it has struggled for years, but it seems to be really in a good spot and healthy right now.
Right. I think with Coach Mike and the strategy that he has and the structure, I think it's going to go very well.
You mentioned baseball, Evan. What have you learned from hockey that has helped you in that sport, and vice versa?
Being around everyone and always being on the move and I forget the word I'm looking for, but always transitioning, and even if something goes wrong, always make sure that you can come back and make it right, even if it goes wrong.
But the hand-eye coordination, that's a big thing too, right? I mean,
good point.
There's a lot of specialization, but some of these sports can cross-train you for other things, and it's also fun. You're allowed to have fun too, right?
Right. Many pucks are in the air, and you need to kick it or catch it and throw it down, even off the glass. So it kind of helps going that way.
Who do you think has the best hand-eye on the? It's got to be Guerin. I mean, well, today it was Guerin at least, but who do you think it is?
I think our goalies. They're always throwing ball off the wall and making sure they can see the catch through
training
like
their eyes that way.
Right.
So how was this today? Was it fun? What was the dynamic in the locker room?
Yeah, it was fun. All of us in the locker room, it was kind of shy in the beginning, but once we loosened up a little, we all we talked together and we all knew our names. We all always try to have fun, and we just came together.
Someone has to crack the first joke and start busting on someone, and everything.
That's what happened. That's what happened.
Did it feel any different doing it later in the season when you have mid-ams and other stuff in the school year, I'm sure, going on?
Yes, it did. Baseball started for me personally, so I kind of stopped. I won't say stopped. I loosened up on hockey and focused more on baseball. So it affected me a little bit more than in season, but it was still fun to have it after season, to see all my friends back again and playing with everyone. One
little send-off for you as a senior.
Yes.
Yeah, kind of a send-off.
Yes.
Before we let you ride off into the sunset, Evan, why don't you give us a Hempfield baseball prediction, as long as we've got a representative of two sports here?
I think we're going to do well. Our section in 6A is really tough. We have a lot of good teams, so you can go either way. With our, we have 3 games per week, well, with each team. So if you win the series, you can always look forward to that. But again, like 6A, we're really tight, and every team's really good.
And what position do you play?
I play first base and DH.
Important. Offensively, very important.
Offensively, yes.
And with us has been Evan Dunlap, he of the Hempfield Spartans, alternate captain, defenseman, and again, what a ride for Hempfield this year, going all the way to the Penguins Cup final. And we're going to be keeping an eye on the Spartans going forward. Thank you, Evan, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Evan, thank you. Good luck. Good luck with baseball.
And there goes Evan Dunlap, the Hempfield Spartans again, making it all the way to the Penguins Cup final, and they were oh so close before Penn Trafford was able to hold them off for that championship, and maybe it'll be Hempfield's turn in 26-27. We'll see. In the meantime, Noah Taggart of Pine Richland wipes out at center. Xavier Bias, the Shaha Panther and Mount Lebanon captain, sends that puck the other direction. Jake Terre from the neutral zone puts it up into the blue team bench as we are scoreless about 4.5 minutes into the first period of the 3A All-Star contest.
Nice of those players to visit. I know they were in the last game, and maybe you're tuning in just for this game, but it's nice to hear from some of the players and not just Matt and I talking all the time. So good luck to all those players.
And they all were very noticeable in that 2A game. Simonetti had all those chances before he finally got that game-winning goal late. Bruschi skated very well, representing the Ramblers, and Evan Dunlap, very strong defensive game overall, despite his team not getting the result. And here the other way comes Taggart for the gold team, putting it off Nichols, and it goes in!
Wow.
You don't see him leak too many goals, but he just did. And Taggart goes short side for the first goal of the final All-Star contest of Sunday.
As we were just making sure that was the goal, the thought crossed my mind, Matt, that might be the weakest goal I've seen Nichols allow into the net. So I guess this is the best time to do it. In an All-Star game, which is basically, a ceremonial exhibition game, but a good give and go there in the neutral zone. Taggart coming on the left side, and he placed it well. So they get the first goal, does the dark team, team gold. So 1-0 lead.
Wearing that dark NA jersey, the black and gold, was Alex Costa, getting it up to Joey Mitchell, part of new coach Justin Glock's leadership group this season. Carson Verzilla, regular season scoring champion with 33 points, trying to chip that toward goal a moment ago. Nate Keller, South Fayette captain, trying to counterattack for Team Blue.
Assistant by number 52,
Nevin Sanowski.
Time of the goal, 11:56.
coughs it up in the corner. Cullen Campbell, Class 3A goals leader with 20 of those on the regular campaign, entering the zone offside.
Well, early in this one, Matt's got some good tempo to this game. The speed is good.
Well, when you see the top classification, you assume that a lot of the top raw talent in the league is going to be there. And, you know, you talk about Nichols, you look at the rest of this year's Post-Gazette Stellar Six as published by Keith Barnes and the PG earlier this weekend, and you see a lot of 3A players represented, including Nichols' Seneca Valley teammate, Braden Morin, who was a 2026 All-Star selection. Daly from inside his own line. Up ahead for Burns. Nico Gallardini trying to beat the sea of dark jerseys, but can't. Kane Phillip forces the issue to center. He's chased by J.J. Tenswan of Franklin Regional.
That was quite the foot race down the far boards.
A 3 or 4 man foot race at that as Gallardini kicks it loose to Daly. Daly, the last couple preseasons, always did very well in the St. Margaret Fall Face-Off, now known as the PIHL Charities Tournament, as Burns goes bar down on Laurent, the Upper St. Clair Panther, and we're tied at 1.
Michael Burns crossing the offensive blue line. You see him there on your screen. Defensively, he turns. He gets this little pass, just a nice little headman pass right there from Aaron Daly. And Burns just kind of, I don't know how you put it, nonchalantly, he just fired that one in the top corner, right in the upper 90. And it is tied at 1.
Daly is another one of those players like Preston Miller of Latrobe we talked about during the 2A game who plays a 200-foot game. Exactly. He is good at playing both positions, forward and D. And he's like Troy Polamalu on hockey skates almost. He's like a secret weapon out there for Pittsburgh Central Catholic.
Well, Matt, you saw it right there. He made, it was probably a 15-foot pass to Burns, and he continued, like as a defenseman, he didn't pull up. He continued. He was ready to do the middle drive down the center into the slot, to create the screen or get the return pass, and Burns just put it in the net. So we're tied at 1 here. So good hockey, good simple play results in a goal.
Maybe we won't see a goalie duel after all. 2 goals, just a little over 2 minutes apart by both teams. And we're tied at 1 as Jake Lawadi, among the top 10 scorers in Class 3A, representing Penguins Cup silver medalist Peters Township, deflects that wide of goal, and moments later, Laurent makes that glove save.
Peters Township came oh so close on a frantic rally late in that game.
Of all the strange things I've seen happen in PIHL regular season and postseason hockey, that ranks very high on my list, having covered this league for roughly 20 years. Seneca Valley led that Penguins Cup final 5-0, and with Nichols between the pipes, and we all know his reputation, you'd think the Raiders had it made in the shade, but the Indians came roaring back. Campbell on the breakaway. He is denied by the aforementioned number 40 in white. Well, Chris got his wake-up call on that first goal, evidently, by Taggart.
If you would have allowed a second, we might need to stop the game for an investigation there for a minute.
Eddie Shearer, the North Allegheny captain, over to Lawadi, and Lawadi is stopped at the far post by Laurent as that puck is deflected out of play. Nichols not as busy as he was in last year's Penguins Cup final, making 49 saves in 3 overtimes, and wouldn't you know it, the losing goalie in that game, who has the Penguins Cup record with 62 saves in the same game, is Jackson Ankrum of South Fayette. We'll see him later, we presume, playing for the blue team.
Yeah, that is always going to be a memorable Penguin Cup championship game.
I think this year's was too, for very different reasons, but that save made by Laurent through a crowd. And Laurent, a big part of Upper St. Clair, making it back to the playoffs this season before they ran into that Raider buzzsaw. Kane Phillip stopped short side by Nichols.
Kane Phillip going one-on-one on his teammate Ray Travato, who kind of just yelled at him as he went by. I'm feeling a little old, Matt, as Ray Travato's father, Tony, and I were teammates at Central back in the late 80s.
Central is a team that has a lot of individual talent, as we've seen already. Phillip shooting that off Soroka's blade out of action, and it's been a minute since they had any playoff success, though. I wonder what the missing ingredient from a coach's point of view seems to be for them.
It's kind of hard for me to diagnose that. I haven't seen them play, but as an alum and a former coach that left it in pretty good standing, doesn't really sit too well with me, so hopefully they can get it going.
They've had some fine seasons in the 2020s and in the late 2010s.
They were a high seed one year. They were first or second. I remember watching them up at the Lemieux Center. I don't know if that was the last game or was that the semi. Did we do the semis? I think they lost to, man, I don't remember. I shouldn't say it so I get it wrong. But they were a very high seed and did not come out on top of that one.
Their last Penguins Cup playoff victory was a semifinal victory, in fact, in 2017, before they lost in the final to Peters Township.
Yeah, that's the game I'm thinking of. I was going to say Peters, but I wasn't sure, so that's it. Your recall's amazing.
Verzilla from the hash mark to the corner. Phillip dispossessed. And trying to exit the zone was Soroka, but it's kept in by Costa and Phillip. Chris Costa, Alex Costa, and not appearing in today's game, but Drew Costa was a freshman backup goalie for North Allegheny. Played a few solid games for the Tigers this season. Tigers have some goaltending depth. After graduating Cam Junker, Chris Costa has fit into that program nicely. He was a player of the month early this past season. We'll see him later for the Gold Squad wearing dark jerseys today. Carter Hayne firing on Laurent, who makes that stop. Here is Alex Costa trying to work on Sheegan defensively. Stolen by Gallardini, another USC Panther, to the point for Hayne. Hayne on goal, another loud save by Laurent. Albanese to Che LaMagna. LaMagna dispossessed by Sanowski. Sanowski in front. Keller finding metal but not mesh. Boy, I thought that had goal written all over it, but the big bar had other ideas. Final 5.5 of this first period. Sheegan Sanowski puts it out of play off the stick. Defensively of Brendan Monco. The Mid-Am postseason ongoing, leading to some absences in today's games, and a number of them in the pair of Class 1A contests that were played earlier today. But Monco, a Penn's Elite product of yesteryear, playing varsity full-time now for Peters Township. On here in a tie game. To the point for Desjardins. Desjardins scoring. I think it was tipped by Gallardini. Desjardins might get credit for the goal, though, and it's 2-1 Team Blue.
The quick high shot from the point. We'll get a look here. That one was deflected. That goes into the corner. The two St. Clair players, they play a little give and go, and then the move right there to get it high is they suck the D down, and he just throws it upstairs, and it ends up in the net.
Nichols with a nice glove save there on Cam Lorenzi, the Thomas Jefferson captain. Central Catholic was their postseason opponent this year, and TJ finally found a way to beat Central after losing to them twice, doing it for their first ever playoff win as a 3A club. Monco on the off wing, stopped by Nichols. Shades of the Penguins Cup final a couple of weeks ago.
Sorry, Team Blue goal scored by number 40, Michael Jordan. Assisted by number 91, Nevin J. and Seniowski. Time of the goal for
Seniowski really earned that assist too. He had a nice shift that led to the goal that is being credited to Desjardins, the Pine Richland blue liner. Spencer Gehring unable to beat Nichols, who's trying to freeze the puck with 4 minutes left in the period. And Burns will exhaust the area for Lawadi. Lawadi trying to split the D. Good stick-to-itiveness there by Simon, the Thomas Jefferson alternate captain. Brendan Yohe from center. Leighton Moreau backtracking. And he goes across for his regular teammate, Carter Hayne. And the state champs get it deep into the team gold zone. Daly creating separation. Lawadi losing that puck in the process of dangling to Yohe. Yohe out here with his Franklin Regional teammate, Joey Casella. Backing up the play, Alex Costa. They reset it to Simon at the point. Across for Costa. Costa shooting off of Nichols from long range. And from the corner, it is Tucker Cullen, one of the premier underclassmen in the PIHL. Fox Chapel's alternate captain. Second in goals with 18 in the Class 3A campaign as the Foxes moved up. Oh, what a job to get across there by Laurent, and Daly just looked to the heavens. Can't say I blame him, Kevin.
Well, you still give credit to the goaltender there for a terrific save. Owen Laurent. But yeah, you want to score when you get your opportunity for sure. And Daly had a good one right there. Get a look at Colin stepping into the circle.
Clean face-off win for the blue team, leading 2-1 in this 3A All-Star game. Time ticking away in the first period. Normally, there would be an ice cut after period 2, but there will not be, as Shearer, thinking out loud, gets a third goal for the blue team.
He took a nice little pass as he was cutting across the crease. And he went fancy. Through the legs, over the glove. Right here, he pops out. There's a little touch pass, and then a little showing out.
That was like McDavid. That was a McDavid move, in my opinion. What I tell you during the AA game, Kevin, the kids will always emulate the players they grew up watching. Nothing that any coach says is ever going to change that. No offense to you personally.
Xavier Bias with a nice little pass, spotted him. And it's fun to see here in the All-Star game.
Absolutely. Laurent hangs on to that one with 2 minutes to go in the period.
And number 58, J.J.
Matt, if you do it in the game and it works, you're thrilled. If it doesn't work, then maybe you're wondering why they had to try to. I don't know what other word to use besides fancy to make it up the degree of difficulty there, but sometimes that's the best play. I mean, when you're coming across there, you don't have much you can do. You're going to try to open up the legs, try to go high, and that time he was able to kind of get the goalie leaning and come back, so good to him to be able to do that. I would have tripped over my stick attempting something like that.
Baseball season started this weekend, and in the words of Clint Hurdle, that's a tip your cap situation for Owen Laurent, the gold team goaltender. You just tip your cap to Shearer, because that was a gorgeous play to collect the third goal for the blue team.
What is this season you speak of in Pittsburgh? Baseball?
Hope truly does spring eternal. As Krause collects it for the blue team, knocked aside by Laurent. Desjardins shooting that off a stick. That went wide. 3 unanswered goals by the blue squad after Desjardins' Pine Richland teammate Noah Taggart scored for the gold team early.
See, it pops out from the right wing, and then Bice spots him, and he goes through the wickets and up over the glove.
Again, if you're what can you even do but just laugh and marvel if you're the gold team? Just a gorgeous goal by Eddie Shearer of North Allegheny.
Admire the skill.
Gilbert to the corner. Gilbert with a big goal late in the playoffs for Seneca Valley en route to their back-to-back Penguins Cups and Pennsylvania Cups for that matter. Haynes shooting that one out of action with 43 ticks to talk. Everybody did something special for the Raiders last year and this year. Not much changed in that regard in Class 3A in Pennsylvania high school hockey. Keller fanning on that attempt. His backhander is stopped at the far post by Laurent.
Yeah, Matt, this is an opportunity as acknowledgement and send-off for all those Seneca Valley seniors for back-to-back state championships, which is very rare.
They are only the third PIHL program at the Class 3A level to win back-to-back Pennsylvania Cups. And again, not since Jim McVeigh's Bethel Park Blackhawks won back-to-back Penguins Cups at the turn of the century has it happened. As Psycho Keller says kiss kissay to Mr. Laurent. 4-1 blue team.
So just a good forecheck stick right there by Keller creates the turnover, and then the scramble in front, and they're able to poke it home. Not really sure who got that one, if it was Keller or if it was Gilbert. We'll wait for the announcement. So Bethel, they won, and is it Peters the other one? Or?
I believe so.
That's what I thought.
There's your first period buzzer. A much busier first period in this All-Star game. Class 3A. Business picking up. Team Blue with 4 unanswered goals to lead Team Gold 4-1 with Kevin Zolmanski, Matt Popchalk. It's 2026 PIHL All-Star Sunday on 10-Band TV, presented by 31 Sports Bar and Grill.
Discover the heart of Pittsburgh at Mount Washington Shop and Save. At Mount Washington Shop and Save, we're more than just a grocery store. We're your neighborhood destination. From the freshest local produce to gourmet delights, we've got it all under one roof. Experience convenience, quality, and savings, all in the heart of Mount Washington. Mount Washington Shop and Save, where Pittsburgh shops with a view. Shop smart, shop local, shop Mount Washington Shop and Save.
Back here inside the Clearview Arena, part of the RMU Island Sports Center in Neville Township for 2026 PIHL All-Star Sunday. Better late than never here on 10-Band TV, and thank you for watching this special end-of-season edition of PIHL Hockey Night Live as we celebrate the best of the best in the West. Class 3A All-Star Game ongoing, second period play underway. Team Blue and White leading Team Gold in the dark jerseys by a 4-1 score thanks to 4 consecutive goals in the final 10 minutes of period 1, capped by South Fayette's Nate Keller in the final moments.
Not that it would have been worse had we not won any state championships, but it just has like just a little extra feel to it, right? Like you're throwing your shoulders back, your chest is out a little more. So, once again, congratulations to the league and all three teams.
The PIHL sweeping the Pennsylvania Cup for the first time in 15 years. Kevin Quinn's Quaker Valley Quakers, BJ Zagorak's Penn Trafford Warriors, and Tyler Masiska's Seneca Valley Raiders all winning in Westchester last Saturday over Penncrest, North Penn, and Holy Ghost Prep, respectively. Sheegan Sanowski up top for Seneca Valley captain Carter Hain. Burns in the corner. And in case you missed coverage of our 1A All-Star games earlier today, we were able to successfully recall the team that Kevin Zolmanski's Bishop Canevin Crusaders beat in the 2011 AA Pennsylvania Cup without cheating, though we did cheat to confirm it.
Yeah, I had to go back into the memory bank, which isn't, the older you get, the less memories you remember, and it was Council Rock South out at that arena.
Honestly, if you hadn't made that educated guess, I would have been even more lost than you. And I'm supposed to be the one with a photographic memory, as we got a yard sale in front of the new blue team goaltender Sam Shin, the Iron Man for Mount Lebanon in goal this season. At the other end, Chris Costa, the October Player of the Month, makes that blocker save representing the NA Tigers. Costa with a .917 regular season save percentage, and if Chris Nichols didn't cast such a long shadow, we'd be talking about Costa perhaps as the best goaltender in Class 3A, if not the league. Nichols with a .954 save percentage and 8 shutouts this season. Just an absolutely unreal campaign. And Seneca Valley, again, the only team in the PIHL not to lose in regulation during the regular season. Chris Costa's Tigers got the better of them in a late season shootout victory at the Barrel Complex, but after that it was all gravy for the Raiders.
I couldn't tell you in 2011 who Mars and Upper St. Clair beat, but nevertheless, it's been 15 years since the West won all three.
I do recall that C.J. Murray, who eventually got work as an official, a hockey official,
NHL linesman.
Yes, the overtime winning goal for the Panthers in the 3A game, and the hat trick goal for that matter, after the Panthers had surrendered the lead late. Nick Blaney, who became a Pitt Panther at the club level, also had a hat trick that day for the Mars Planets, winning the 1A game. Brendan Yohe from an angle. Shin wouldn't flinch. And Shin was a goaltender, part of that Shaha program that produces so many great players locally, Kevin. Shin was a player that I thought deserved a better fate this year. For all the great work he did in goal for Mount Lebanon, the Blue Devils just couldn't put it together this season.
You can see who his amateur team is by the green in his pads and in his stick. I didn't get a chance to watch Mount Lebanon this year, but did not have a great season.
Lost some seniors, lost some underclassmen too, who went to fulfill other hockey and athletic obligations.
Yeah. I get it, but it is tough on the team.
Jeremy Church, one of the most accomplished coaches in the PIHL. Boy, does his resume read well. He's coaching Sam Shin and company in today's All-Star event, as you heard Austin McLean say. Jeremy leading Mount Lebanon varsity for the past 5 calendar years. Took over on an interim basis during the COVID year in 2021, leading the Blue Devils to the Penguins Cup final before they bowed to North Allegheny. Last season led the Blue Devils to a number 2 seed in the 3A bracket. Campbell near side for Verzilla. Verzilla all the way across, trying to stretch it out for Taggart. The terrific trio of Pine Richland Rams out here for the gold team as Shin makes that stop. I'm going to take a stab at this one. I'm going to guess, again, I'm not cheating, and Kevin will attest.
Yes.
I'm going to guess that Mars beat Springfield and that Upper St. Clair beat LaSalle. What all else fails? Say LaSalle for 3.
I was going to say, Matt, you know, when I said that, I knew the hamster started spinning in your head to get the wheels turning.
But that hamster's been retired for a few years himself.
I was going to throw out LaSalle because, of course, that's like a multiple choice, you know, eliminate. They only have so many out there.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure at that time if it was Malvern. I don't remember the A. The USC game, we had left the facility. We were on our way back. We had stopped somewhere to eat. We were somehow tracking it. I remember getting score updates. This is like, I mean, 2011 was like the early days of being able to do something like that.
Social media very much in its infancy at the time, certainly.
We were getting text messages.
Taggart, dispossessed and too much momentum, ran into Shin and gives him a sportsmanlike tap to make sure he's all right. Keller across the attacking line, chased by Campbell. Keller with the final goal of period 1, looking to score again in period 2. Instead, he'll defer to Moreau at the side of the net. Correction, Gilbert, who is stopped by Costa. This pass, intended for Campbell, was broken up. Tenswan camped out in front of his goaltender. He's dispossessed by Mitchell. Campbell kicks it free to Joey Mitchell. Mitchell trying to outmaneuver Shin, but could not. Mitchell from the slot area through a crowd. Shin making a tough save there as the blue team tries to get their transition game going. Gallardini trying to hook up with Sanowski. Cullen taking over for the gold team. Cullen chased by Gallardini across the line. Left for Costa. Correction, Lorenzi representing Thomas Jefferson going after that puck in the corner.
Trying to get our crack research team on it. Vandriak's at home. Maybe he can contribute to this broadcast. Told him to look it up.
Well, I know that the last time before 2026 that a 1A team won states, it was done here.
Quaker
as Costa
Valley.
makes a nice save, yes, sir, by the Quakers. Fitting that they would be the ones to end that long streak of Eastern dominance.
We had almost given up on the A because of the way we do things on the West here with the formula and everything. They don't do it out East that way. And the East had become really dominant. I mean, they had won some state championship games handily, including last year here against a very good Avonworth team. So it was nice to see.
Even in the early years of the PIHL, I can remember it was difficult for PIHL teams to keep pace with the Flyers Cup teams at the Class A level because of multiple reasons, not the least of which was greater Philadelphia's population density compared to greater Pittsburgh.
When they split the levels, their 1A is much larger than the 1A here because of the population and the enrollment. So that's, not a complaint. That's just a fact.
All the more reason to tip your cap to the Quakers. And Kevin Quinn, the longest tenured head coach in the West, winning his 3rd state championship of all time last weekend. What a run by the Quakers, finishing their unfinished business, as they so eloquently put it. And Matias Lazama, one of their top players, the Class A scoring champion, in fact, making the Stellar Six along with Chris Nichols, who is taking a breather after playing period 1 for the blue team. Desjardins in the corner for Hain. Carter Hain breaks it out for Burns. Burns down the left wing, centering for Daly. Daly couldn't take it. Lawadi to the loose puck. Luwadi trying to outmaneuver Costa and fires wide of goal. 7.5 till what would be the ice cut break, but for our purposes today, it'll be just a conventional intermission, a brief one. Desjardins from the high slot, blockered away by a standing Costa.
And that was a good move to stand there. If he drops into butterfly, that might go in.
Desjardins is, well, throughout his high school career, he's been more of a stay-at-home guy, but at the end of this past season, he really started racking up the points for Pine Richland and has the goal today in this All-Star game as Luwadi misses on the backhand.
Well, Matt, is he a senior? Do you know? I'm not sure if he is. Do you remember?
I do not recall, unfortunately.
I was going to say if he is, sometimes that little something kicks in down the home stretch of your senior year. Get all that experience, you start figuring it out. You don't want it to end. So it's not unusual if he's a senior. We don't have the years on our rosters here, so me for bringing it up, but that would explain it to me.
Luwadi from one knee, knocking at the back door. And the Peters Township Indian continues the run by the blue team. They lead 5-1.
Aaron Daly with the assist from behind the net, the good feed. Here it is again, Daly down the right wing, the left shot. He beats the defender, fights him off. He decides not to shoot, circles, finds Luwadi, who goes down to the one knee and finishes. Daly's got some good size, skates well.
Gold team winning the faceoff, and sometimes these All-Star games can be games of runs, and the blue team is feeling it right now. 5 unanswered goals. Gold team has not quite a period and a half to make their move. Down by 4 now with 6 minutes to go in period 2 of this Class 3A All-Star game. Matt Popchuk on TenbandTV with Kevin Zolmanski. Special thanks to 31 Sports Bar and Grill for their support of our playoff and championship coverage and All-Star coverage, of course. Shearer, who had that highlight reel goal earlier, sets up another team captain, Xavier Bias, he of Mount Lebanon. Tense one resetting at center for the blue team. Ryan Krause down low for Bias.
Assisted by number 2, Aaron Daly. Time of the goal at 6:23.
Yohe ahead for Taggart. Taggart toward goal. Cannot beat Shin. We told you, Shin's a battler for Mount Lebanon. He played some really inspired games this season for that team despite their losing record. Final 5 minutes of the period. And Costa covers inside the crease.
So Matt did not send me the winners, but he sent a photo of my team charging off the bench when they win it. And there's the Sully. It's me in there.
Yes, it is.
Sorry to the viewers, you can't see me showing him a photo, but
you look better in high definition than standard definition. It's a compliment, trust me.
That's our crack research team.
Oh, what a game that was. Bishop Canavan holding on against Council Rock South.
4-1?
It was. It was 2-1 for a very long time in that game. And
two empty netters.
And you guys, if memory serves, had to kill off a 2-man disadvantage at one point.
Oh, good
that
stick
pass
there.
Broken up by Moreau. It was indeed.
As we pull me back in from memory lane and concentrate on why we're here, the 3A game.
Shearer up the right wing.
Oh,
thank you, sir. May I have another?
He's going to let his teammate Costa know about that one. What a snipe that was. The right shot deep into the right wing corner. Goes behind Costa into the far corner. Terrific shot by Shearer.
Eddie Shearer, you're so perfect tonight. 2 goals and 2 gorgeous goals for Team Blue. They lead 6-1.
I mean, the effort defensively does not lessen the shot, which was sensational.
Sometimes those low percentage shots aren't as low percentage as you might think. And there's nothing like scoring on your own goaltender at that. Some friendly competition as Costa is victimized by his typical teammate.
And Matt, we got confirmation that your memory is just as you thought it was. Mars beat Springfield, USC beat LaSalle.
Wow.
So
don't ask me how I pulled that one out.
Stick tap to you. Stick tap to you, my friend.
Tucker Cullen missing at the other end. Cullen getting his own rebound back, forcing it out in front of Campbell. Alex Costa toward goal. Shin couldn't hold it. Campbell has the rebound. Goal team getting some bodies in front of that blue team net, trying to stop the bleeding here with 3 minutes to go in the period.
19 minutes and 59 seconds to go in the PIHL season.
Sobering and exciting all at once.
It's such a long season.
It is for the boys and for the girls who face off in April for year number 5 of the PIHL girls division. It'll be a sprint. A short regular season followed by a playoff tournament that, like the Penguins Cup and Division II final, will culminate in Cranberry. Last year, it was Team West running the table and winning big to win the girls division championship. Joe Cummings and assistant coach Howard Smith doing a great job with that team last season. A team consisting largely of South Fayette students, as evidenced by the green uniforms they wore last spring. Now, hopefully, girls hockey will get to the point here in the West where we're having our own girls Penguins Cup like our brethren in the East do year after year now.
Yeah, they are very anxious to have a girls state championship game. We just, for the reasons we mentioned earlier, they're just larger schools. They are able to have those teams, and that's a great opportunity for those players.
Cullen Campbell with what the kids would call a goal scorer's goal. Set up by Monco, and the goal team does stop the run late in the period to make it 6-2.
Well, you get a look at it here as Monco brings it up, gets to the red line, slows it down a bit in a nice position for Campbell, and then Monco continues on with his large frame to basically set a pick. Now, I don't know in the regular season game they might want to call that one, but Campbell gets the drop pass in a sense, the trailer pass I was going to call it, as someone used to call it when I first started playing hockey, and he cut on his forehand and he beat Shin, who just did a spin in net there. Shin is very active.
More of a basketball assist than a hockey assist by Monco, if we're being truly objective. But he does get a hockey assist, the second one. The first one, I beg your pardon.
Well, the drop pass, the good rush. He's got good size.
Tremendous.
I don't know the reason that he's not with the Pens team, but I can see his size would attract attention.
Mitchell tries to go short side. Shin the save, and he stops Kane Phillip on the follow-up. Goal team with a little momentum late in the second. Lawadi counterattacking, chased by Simon all the way to the corner. Sheegan Sanowski concedes to the Thomas Jefferson Jaguar. Up now for Mitchell. Mitchell has Phillip going toward goal. Phillip has it. Can't control it, though, and Shin, atop the crease, will force the faceoff. Eddie Shearer and Cullen Campbell scoring exactly 2 minutes apart for their respective sides, with time winding down in period 2. It used to be that the South Hills programs were the dominant ones in Western PA high school hockey. Now it's the North Hills programs who have really come into their own in recent years. Seneca Valley, Pine Richland, North Allegheny.
Yeah, it was definitely a time where the South Hills was kind of the epicenter of the strength of hockey in this area. And I don't know exactly what year it was, Matt, but it did shift up north. Probably that what was the Blade Runners is now the Barrel Ice Arena. It had a lot to do with it, the North Pittsburgh program. The population moving there, the large schools of North Allegheny, Seneca Valley, Pine Richland.
Now you have so many kids to choose from, you're going to hit the jackpot eventually, I suppose, and those programs certainly have. They've become the envy, if anything, of some of the South Hills programs, I would think.
Not to mention Mars is up there. They do well in 1A.
Avonworth would like to join that conversation in the years to come as the second period comes to an end.
The Antelopes are going to have to overcome a graduation attrition this year.
After 2 periods, your score is Team
Paging Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman. We're going to see Anthony Herman in goal when we come back at 6-2 Team Blue in the Class 3A All-Star Game on TenbandTV. I'm Matt Popchak with Kevin Zlemansky for PIHL Hockey, presented by 31 Sports Bar and Grill.
Discover the heart of Pittsburgh at Mount Washington Shop and Save. At Mount Washington Shop and Save, we're more than just a grocery store. We're your neighborhood destination. From the freshest local produce to gourmet delights, we've got it all under one roof. Experience convenience, quality, and savings, all in the heart of Mount Washington. Mount Washington Shop and Save, where Pittsburgh shops with a view. Shop smart, shop local, shop Mount Washington Shop and Save.
Creating space. Hewitt turning. Scoring! Marshall Hewitt has won the Penguins Cup championship. Matt Popchak and Kevin Zlemansky back for the final period of the Class 3A All-Star Game, winding down the 2026 PIHL All-Star event here from the RMU Island Sports Center on TenbandTV. And special thanks to the Mount Washington Shop and Save for their support of PIHL hockey all season long for another season, 2025-2026 on TenbandTV. And a shout out to store managers Jim and Michelle Kazarowski for all their support. And happy birthday, Michelle, the big 6-0. Having a surprise birthday party, we understand, at Gordo's Tacos and Tequila, also on Mount Washington, home of the two-time Ice Castle Elite League champions, Team Gordo's Tacos and Tequila.
How do you even know that?
Because I was there. I saw Team Gordo's lift that trophy with the dragon mascot that Ralph Murovich trots out there after the Elite League tournament.
Nice. Forget the trophy. I want to know how the tacos are. I got to find that out.
I've heard they are outstanding. They are a great restaurant. And our executive producer, Todd Kazarowski, gives them an enthusiastic endorsement. So if you are in the Mount Washington area and you need some groceries but also could eat, kill multiple birds with single stones. Burns from the edge of the circle. That's deflected in front. Lorenzi not standing on ceremony. Keeps the game at 6-2 early in the third period. Phillip interfered with, but The environment being what it is, we're not going to get an interference call as Lorenzi tries to get a step on bias. We did see one power play opportunity, an unsuccessful one, albeit in the AA All-Star game.
We saw 2 in the second 1A game.
Those were our only 3 of the day, I believe, correct?
I'm not familiar. I don't know about the first 2, but I think that could be. Dustin has given us the sign that that's the case. No penalties in the first 2 All-Star games.
That shows you what a rarity it is in an All-Star event.
There's even been a few maybe offsides that have just been overlooked by the officials, keeping things moving.
Cullen just missing. For a heartbeat, I thought that one was going in past the new goaltender for the blue team, Jackson Ankrum. Herman making that save off the glove to deny Daly. Long rebound out to center. Moreau taps it inside the gold team zone. 2-line pass for Campbell. Hayne on his horse. Paired out here with Leighton Moreau. The Seneca Valley Raiders, same opponent at States 2 years in a row. Same result, 7-2 victory. This latest one coming at Ice Line last weekend as Herman cuts down the angle on Kraus.
What a good job by Herman to push out, lean forward, get that glove out in front of him and make that save. But when you say that, the same 2 teams, Matt, that immediately made me think of like Panthers-Oilers in the Cup, right? Exact same way it went. 2 teams meet consecutive years and the same team won both.
Panthers in 7, then Panthers in 6.
Doesn't look like Panthers are making it this year. They had to deal with the injury bug and likely the exhaustion bug, right? Take a year to regroup and come back.
I do not believe that a three-peat has happened in the NHL in my lifetime. I think I just missed the Islanders' 4-peat, if you will, in the early 80s. Well, I was born for part of it, but
Matt, the thing about that is when that happened, I mean, I was preteen.
Yeah.
And then early teen. That was common. Like you were used to seeing the Canadians put together. And now thinking back at it, you're like, how did they do that? Because there wasn't really a big change in free agency and turnover. So that is very exhausting for to have the same players on a team go through that. I remember hearing locally in 2010, after the Pens went 2 years in a row, lost one, won one, here in hindsight, like they were exhausted when they lost in the second round to a Canadian, I think it was a Canadians team that was not nearly as good. So you think about 4 consecutive and then a 5th in the Cup final before they lost to the Oilers. What a remarkable run. And then the Islanders haven't been back since. Think about that, how difficult it is.
Championships at any level of hockey are rare. And there's a reason that entire cities shut down for a day, basically, and throw million-dollar parades when teams win championships. And there's a reason that Quaker Valley, Penn Trafford, and Seneca Valley were all greeted by hordes of fire trucks and police cars and first responders escorting the team bus down the main drag of their respective communities when they came back with hardware in hand.
That takes some coordination, right? You got to be ready to do that, and then you got to be ready to cancel if it doesn't go the right way, and then you got to know when they're arriving.
Mitchell toward goal. He's stopped by Ankrum.
We weren't greeted because we weren't a borough team. We just went to the Permanis down kind of in the Montour Run area. That'd be kind of our spot post-championships.
Keller against Mitchell for this face-off. And this one belongs to Keller, who plays it back to Daly. Coincidentally, you coached at Daly.
Yes.
Don't think he was related, but...
I don't know. Josh Daly.
Yes.
Terrific player. And his brother Zach, who was the goalie on that team, who won.
Out in front. Keller couldn't control it. Now he gets it to his forehand and blasts it by Herman, who was getting the goalie blade out there to do anything he could to interrupt Keller's rhythm. And he forced a face-off in Gold Team territory 5 minutes into period 3. So we know we've got the gold division, or the girls division, I should say, coming up in April. What else happens in a typical PIHL offseason, Kevin? What is it like for you?
Well, there's meetings and preparations for next season. So pretty soon, teams are going to have to submit their declarations. The associations will submit their declarations so that the league knows you're fielding a team at what level, means like varsity, JV, middle school, etc. And then when you get those declarations, you need to have them so early because the scheduling process takes so long. Now, that used to be handled by a few individuals. Now, it's contracted out to a company with some software. So it goes through a few iterations of that. A lot of the associations have board turnovers. People graduate that were on the board, etc. So you got to get those details so that they come to the monthly meetings, and then that becomes a problem because you have inexperienced people at the monthly meetings, and then there's rule proposals. There's votes on the rule. I'm not involved with too much of this. I'm just an advisor to the executive committee. I don't go to the BOG, but the EC will meet on Wednesday. We start talking about things that went right, things that didn't go wrong, what's on the agenda, those sort of things to start getting ready. There's a lot of work for the commissioner in the office in the off season. Is this one? Oh, what a save by Herman. I will be involved in the discussion about the alignment. Commissioners asked me to get involved with that. We talked about in the broadcasts, the size of A is a topic he wants to approach. Don't know if it's going to change, but
it is the biggest of the 4 PIHL classifications, the biggest pure classification, right. Double in size roughly at this point of the other two for those not keeping score at home.
And the reason it's a topic is some of the ones at the bottom of the standings really struggling. We were visited at an EC meeting by representatives from some of them that say it makes hard to get, they lose players that are decent hockey players on their amateur teams because they don't want to lose all the time.
Understood.
So can we address that in some way to make it more competitive so programs can succeed, have some success, and get stronger? There's probably a few other things that
and one wonders if some of those players, or if more of those players, a fraction of those players, went out for their respective high school teams. Could they be the ones to put some of those struggling programs on the correct side of the playoff line in future seasons?
Well, usually, Matt, they could, and not even for some of them. It's not so much on the playoff line. It's just not getting playing games that are lopsided, I'm going to say.
Sure.
That's the first step, and then it's the second step, the playoffs. Oh, what a shot that was.
Gorgeous goal by Brendan Yohe to make it a 6-3 game with just over 9 minutes left in regulation. The Franklin Regional Panthers have entered the chat.
Terrific shot. Kind of the 7-10 split. He hit the far bar and it rimmed around to he's looking at him sizing it up. Hits the right side, circles over to the left side. Some of those programs, Matt, that we're just discussing, I mean, this isn't the case 100% of the time, but you almost need a Pied Piper, right? You need one to kind of step forward and be the leader that the other ones will follow. I mean, I understand you don't want to lose, but you shouldn't deny yourself an opportunity in high school to participate just because your team might lose. Help them make it better. Learn some lessons. I don't know. I don't know what the answers are, but those are some of the discussions. The scheduling's a big one. The team declarations are a big one.
And my official position has always been a time and a place for everything in space. There's room for all organized hockey, and we should all be working together to grow this sport because it's a heck of a sport, and it is growing. It has grown significantly in my lifetime, certainly, and in yours as well here in Western Pennsylvania. Call it the Lemieux boom, call it the Crosby boom after the Lemieux boom, call it whatever you want, but hockey's becoming a bigger and bigger deal than it was when it was in its infancy in the 1970s at the high school level here in Greater Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you have your peaks and valleys. I remember a couple years ago, I don't remember how many, it could be 3 or 4, watching the 3A semifinals, thinking these 4 teams are not very good. But that wasn't the case this year. So you have those birth years that are better than others. And that is, that impacts the amateur teams. It also impacts the high school teams.
And to go back to my original question, you sort of made my point for me, is that to the untrained eye, or the untrained ear, if you will, you might think ho-hum, bureaucratic stuff, but a lot is happening. That is a big deal. Those are things that need to happen behind the scenes, as that one goes off the bar and is sat on by Ankrum. The gold team that close to making it a 2-goal game, but hockey gods weren't with them.
And every year around this time, Matt, there's also a vote. One year it's the 4 vice presidents on the executive committee, and the other year it's the treasurer, secretary, and president. There will be nominations for that. There'll be votes on that for the current representatives of the associations before they leave, and the turnover. That's also a big step.
And, it is a big step. Different league leadership is going to have different attitudes, of course, about different issues.
And some try to get in with an agenda, and some want to come in and actually help.
Commissioner Halliburka, if you're listening, the check is in the mail, I promise. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
He tells me he goes home and watches these after the fact.
We appreciate his support. We appreciate, and we're blessed with very supportive league leadership at present, led by Tom Halliburka, the PIHL commissioner, who succeeded the late John Muka, and Jack Kukin has been president of the league for a part of the executive leadership of the league for a very long time, the current league president. They're all important people, and they've all supported the way TenbandTV has tried to bring everybody together and bring all these regional media outlets together. And, we all want to grow the game, and we all, I think, are tugging on the same rope, and it's nice that the league recognizes that, and we appreciate that.
It's a year-round effort. There could be, I don't know, I'm not predicting it, but the commissioner has a staff, and sometimes those people have had enough, and they want, they give it up, and he has to hire new staff. Those are all part of it. I mean, it's a...
Look at those legs by Soroka. Oh, what a save by Herman, and let's hope he's okay.
He rolls over, puts his glove up, saying he's all right. There are just a lot of things that occur, and a lot of efforts made by the off-ice officials, or the off-ice leadership, as you were calling them, that are around here. My role is mostly just as an advisor, give an opinion, don't have a vote, try to help, have a historical perspective of things that have been tried in the past.
The past is so often influencing the present, and that perspective matters. Mitchell out in front. Taggart, the other number 56 for the gold team, unable to control that pass. Mitchell from the neutral zone playing it against the grain for Costa. Costa had that shot blocked by Moreau.
Wish there was a solution to the overlap, making the season even longer. Most of the kids on 2 teams. There's some burnout. I've heard from people recently, they quit playing burnout. Good shot.
A beauty, from Nevin Sheegan-Sanowski. Put some respect on all 3 names. The Defensive Player of the Year award winner, as voted on by his peers at Upper St. Clair Hockey this past calendar year. He's been a fine PIHL player to watch over the last 4 years. Good to see him get into the act. Team Blue with a 7-3 lead now after surrendering back-to-back goals.
And, of course, the girls' league, as you mentioned, that's going to step center stage here in a few weeks. So that's really the next thing, too.
Time of the goal, 5:18. Shanigan Simiowski from home at 5:18.
Well, we had our 3 stars of the Class 2A game as selected by Kevin Zolmanski after the final whistle blew. And looking at the score sheet for Class 3A, I think we both have our work cut out for us.
Yeah, I'm going to say you might have to look at that one. I don't have the goal scores in front of me. The last one was fewer goals made it easier because there was multiple goal scorers.
Albanese interrupted by Sheegan Sanowski, the most recent goal getter for Team Blue. Lorenzi surveying the play from the corner, out for Monco, across intended for Gehring. Good active stick by Keller, and Keller will look for his second goal of the night, but he's well covered by Monco, so he tries to pass it to Lawadi, and Lawadi's teammate, Monco, helps break up the pass.
Monco's been very good. I'm not sure if he's on the score sheet, but I would consider him in there also.
He set up one of the early goals by Team Blue.
I've liked his game. I've liked Taggart's game.
Shearer has to be on there.
Shearer's
Two gorgeous
been terrific,
goals.
Yes.
He might be my number 1 star in this game.
I think at this point, he is the clubhouse leader for the first star. That's a good spot by you.
And the Tigers led this season by Justin Glock, the former Baldwin state champion head coach. And they're a defense-first team traditionally, but this year they really struggle to manufacture offense. So it's ironic that one of the Tigers puts on an offensive clinic here on All-Star Sunday as Anchor makes that glove save.
I like Burns from TJ. I like his overall game quite a bit. He had a nice goal. And I noticed some subtle things, like the one time Travado pinched and he covered the point. Now that seems like a silly thing to spotlight, but as a coach, that's what you want to see, that somebody is aware of the positioning and what needs to be filled. I like smart hockey players, I guess is what I'm trying to capsulize.
All successful coaches do. Ankrum flashing more leather in the meantime.
I think Aaron Daly's been good today.
He has at least 1 point.
No, he had an assist.
Very good skater as well, Daly. Again, a strong preseason. Didn't get to talk about him as much during the regular season as Central Catholic cobbled together a playoff spot, but Daly's always been one of the more exceptional players at his own position. Ankrum scrambling to cover that one, so we'll drop the puck from the same spot with 3 minutes left in period 3. It's a 7-3 game in the Class 3A All-Star Contest in favor of Team Blue. Burns across for Kraus. Kraus pressured by his Franklin Regional teammate Casella. All the Franklin Regional Panthers out there for their respective clubs. And it's forced back to center by Burns, trying to hit Bias right around the RMU logo. But Terre will flip it up ahead to Casella. Casella on for Yohe. Yohe around Desjardins. Terre from along the extended goal line, trying to go out in front for Yohe, who is well covered by Bias and company.
Here's a situation where the net is off, but the official let it continue. Would not have happened in the playoffs. And Matt, since you're going to get the last sign off here, I'm just going to say thanks to the 10-band crew and everybody for letting me parachute in here at the end of the year and contribute.
Thank you, Kevin. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I feel smarter when you are in the booth. I really do mean that. The expertise is very, very welcome and very appreciated as we get a lot of new fans, we would imagine, who discover hockey, if you will, right around the time their team is in the playoffs. And good to have that expertise as we cover the Penguins Cup and Division II postseason. Oh, two good stops there at the side of the net by Herman, and now the net is off, and the goal that was just scored will not count.
Well, Matt, explaining the game of hockey is probably like my favorite thing. So I appreciate the opportunity and the forum to do it. It's fun to do it alongside you. I've been out of it for a while now. I think my last game was in 2015, so it's been great to find another outlet.
And the PIHL Charities Tournament will be here before you know it.
It does. Don't the summers always go too fast?
They always do, especially when you're a working parent. I've learned that at some great cost in recent years. Verzilla across the line. And again, the fun isn't over yet. PIHL Girls Division Hockey beginning in April and going through the beginning of June. Late May, the girls' playoffs will take place before the girls' championship game, and growing interest in the girls' circuit, as we said earlier. Should be fun to watch coming off the American success at the Olympics. Special thanks to our behind-the-scenes crew, Dustin Beck, Ethan Stewart, Kennedy Kazarowski, executive producer Todd Kazarowski, Michael Lyman in the Four Seasons, working rinkside once again, as he was during the PIHL postseason. Thank you, Tom Halliburka, Jack Kukin, Brian Mitchell, and all the rest of the PIHL behind-the-scenes team as well, as we've got half a minute left in period 3. We know not when our PIHL Girls Division coverage will begin on 10-Band TV, but we know that the first puck will drop on the 2026 girls regular season on Monday, April 6th, 2026. So PIHLhockey.com. They'll keep you posted. April 13th. It has been moved to April 13th. Thank you, Todd Kazarowski, executive producer. Monday, April 13th. The revised start date for PIHL girls. Lawadi across the line. Hain missing upstairs.
Herman got just a little bit off his glove on that one. So I'm proposing the end of the season 10-band crew playoff watch party for the Penguins down at 31 Bar and Grill at some point to get that organized.
That will be a fun party, and we've made a lot of fun memories here in the springtime, as that's it for Pitt. The 2025-2026 high school hockey season in the West, at last, is in the books. Team Blue 7, Team Gold 3. That's the final score of your PIHL Class 3A All-Star game. Eddie Scherer of North Allegheny, a couple of goals for Team Blue to help them get the victory. Nate Keller of South Fayette gets what proves to be the game-winning goal for Team Blue. He scored with just 10 seconds remaining in period 1, and the handshake line commences. Thank you again, Kevin Zolmanski.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate being alongside. It was fun.
Thank you, 10-Band TV crew. Thank you, PIHL crew. And now, in loving memory of Jan Kornick, Mike Lang, and Dickie Dunn, who was trying to capture the spirit of the thing, and for the real All-Stars, Courtney and Sophie Popchak, I am Matt Popchak, and that is all she wrote from the island, where you have been watching the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Hockey League All-Star event for 2026 here on 10-Band TV, presented by the Mount Washington Shop and Save. his team not getting the result. And here the other way comes Taggart for the gold team, putting it off Nichols, and it goes in.
Wow.
You don't see him leak too many goals, but he just did. And Taggart goes short side. Last couple preseasons, always did very well in the St. Margaret Fall Face-Off, now known as the PIHL Charities Tournament, as Burns goes bar down on Laurent, the Upper St. Clair Panther, and we're tied at 1. Sheegan defensively. Stolen by Gallardini, another USC Panther, to the point for Hain. Hain on goal, another loud save by Laurent. LaMagna dispossessed by Sanowski. Sanowski in front. Keller finding metal but not mesh. Township on here in a tie game. To the point for Desjardins. Desjardins scoring. I think it was tipped by Gallardini. Desjardins might get credit for the goal, though, and it's 2-1 Team Blue. Team leading 2-1 in this 3A All-Star game. Time ticking away in the first period. Normally, there would be an ice cut after period 2, but there will not be, as Shearer, thinking out loud, gets a third goal for the blue team. The Class 3A level to win back-to-back Pennsylvania Cups. And again, not since Jim McVeigh's Bethel Park Blackhawks won back-to-back Penguins Cups at the turn of the century has it happened. As Psycho Keller says kiss kissay to Mr. Laurent.
He's a senior. We don't have the years on our rosters here, so me for bringing it up, but that would explain it to me.
Lawadi from one knee, knocking at the back door. And the Peters Township Indian continues the run by the blue team. They lead 5-1.
Aaron Daly with the assist from behind the net, the good feed. In from memory lane and concentrate on why we're here, the 3A game.
Shearer up the right wing.
Oh,
thank you, sir. May I have another?
He's going to let his teammate Costa know about that one. What a snipe that was, the right shot. Deep into the right wing corner. Goes behind Costa into the far corner. Terrific shot by Shearer. They are able to have those teams. And that's a great opportunity for those players.
Cullen Campbell with what the kids would call a goal scorer's goal. Set up by Monco. And the goal team does stop the run late in the period to make it 6-2.
For the commissioner in the office in the offseason, is this one? What a save by Herman. I will be lopsided, I'm going to say.
Sure.
That's the first step, and then it's the second step, the playoffs. Oh, what a shot that was.
Gorgeous goal by Brendan Yohe to make it a 6-3 game with just over 9 minutes left in regulation. Bureaucratic stuff, but a lot is happening. That is a big deal. Those are things that need to happen behind the scenes, as that one goes off the bar and is sat on by Ankrum. The gold team that close to making it a 2-goal game, but hockey gods weren't with them.
They give it up, and he has to hire new staff. Those are all part of it. I mean, it's a...
Look at those legs by Soroka. Oh, what a save by Herman, and let's hope he's okay.
He rolls over, puts his glove up, saying he's all right. There's some burnout. I've heard from people recently they quit playing burnout. Good shot.
A beauty, eh? From Nevin Sheegan Sanowski. Put some respect on all three names. And Division II postseason. Oh, two good stops there at the side of the net by Herman, and now the net is off, and the goal that was just scored will not count. Pitt. The 2025-2026 high school hockey season in the West, at last, is in the books. Team Blue 7, Team Gold 3. That's the final score of your PIHL Class 3A All-Star game.